Hello there my RPG fans and welcome to another video. Today I have a really interesting melee outward build for you called Petrified Nomad Warrior. He's based around two-handed axe and a bow as his secondary weapon. I'm going to show you all the skills and the gear that I recommend for this build, how strong it can get and how you should approach different combat situations. Also, I have tips for progressing this build from the scratch, with tips for priority skills and the gear you should get. Before we start, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're into RPGs in general. I'm currently covering Outward in depth and I already have a lot of content for this game that you can watch. Like I said, Petrified Nomad Warrior is a two-handed axe user with a bow as his secondary weapon. He uses no mana at all, so there is not even a slight reduction to his health and stamina, which will be very important for this playstyle. The main three skill trainers for this build are Monk Warrior, Wild Hunter and Rogue Engineer. Meaning you're gonna spend your 3 breakthrough points in those skill trees. Here is the full list of skills. From the Warrior Monk trainer we got Focus, Brace, Slow Metabolism, Steadfast Ascetic, Perfect Strike and Flash Onslaught. From the Wild Hunter tree we got Enrage, Hunter's Eye, Sniper Shot, Survival Resilience, Predator Leap and Feral Strikes. From the Mercenary tree we got Fast Maintains and Armor Training. From the Rogue Engineer tree we only got the breakthrough point in Feather Dodge. From the Spellblade tree we got Fitness and Steady Arm. And we're gonna need X weapon skill ability called Execute. The breakthrough points from Warrior Monk and Wild Hunter are self-explanatory, a great boost to our primary resources, health and stamina. The third breakthrough point, Feather Dodge, from the Rogue Engineer tree allows us to use dodge easier with 50% less stamina used while dodging and allows you to dodge normally even with a heavy backpack. Since Quick Slot Bar allows us to use only 8 skills or items, it's going to be really important how we choose to organize it. Feel free to change it however you see fit. In my case, I didn't put any of the boons that we'll need for Predator Leap, Perfect Strike or Flash Onslaught, so I can have those 2 slots for quickly changing the weapons. I always activate those boons from the skill menu whenever they are off cooldown. I keep 1 slot for the stamina potion, but it could be wiser maybe to put the health potion there instead. The one and only hunter ability on the slot is Sniper Shot. I usually start the fight with the bow from distance using this skill and maybe 1 more regular bow attack, then switch to the axe. Depends on who you fight, but it's going to be a good idea to wait for your enemy to attack. Try to dodge or block, then start your strong attack chain or use any of the abilities as you see fit. Use your Predator Leap and Perfect Strike when you catch your enemies off guard, after their attack combo or when you're behind them. This highly depends on the enemies you're fighting, but it shouldn't take you long to figure how to use these couple of abilities by yourself. Save your Flash Onslaught and Feral Strikes when you really need them. Don't use them right at the start because you'll consume the boons that you'll need to use other skills. Even though you'll have these 2 really strong skills, I choose not to have them both on the quick slot bar at once and I switch those 2 skills a lot. This allowed me to have space for X weapon skill Execute, which has a short cooldown, great impact and damage, especially if you manage to use it against knockdown enemies. And now I would like to show you the order in which you should learn these essential skills. Since you're first arriving in Cherzo, pick up Fitness and Steady Arm from the Spellblade trainer. 25 more health and 15 impact resistance while blocking will be really useful for starting off as basically any melee character. Make sure you carry an axe with you when you talk to the gate guy so he can teach you the Execute skill. This skill will be your only active skill that you'll use until you get the expensive Perfect Strike skill. Warrior Monk tree should be your priority in general, so when you get to Monsoon you should focus on getting enough silver for the breakthrough point. You should learn all the pre-breakthrough skills anyway, but for starters pick up only Focus because you'll need it for the boon, then save enough silver for the breakthrough point and Perfect Strike. Now you could decide to go and progress the Wild Hunter tree and get the breakthrough point from that trainer because it will boost your survivability quite a bit, but you could also decide to try and get the Flash Onslaught before you move on. You don't need to stay locked in certain zone where the trainer is only because of the skills. You can always come back later when you get enough silver, but it's advisable to plan out what you're getting next. When you arrive at Berg, pick up Hunter's Eye and Sniper Shot whenever you can, so you can start using your bow more often. The next goal is obviously the breakthrough point. After that, you can choose to save the silver for Rogue breakthrough point, or at least try and get the Predator Leap from the Hunter before you go and get the only skill from the Rogue tree. Your main goal could be to get all 3 breakthrough points first, with at least 1 strong post-breakthrough skill from Wild Hunter or Warrior Monk, then move on to the remaining skills. And what about the gear? Our main goal is to get Petrified Wood Set and World Edge Great Axe. Petrified set has good stats and it's not really hard to acquire. You'll need to collect 9 petrified wood in the area around Burning Tree in Nordmar forest, and you'll need around 1k gold. After you get all of that, ask the smith in Berg to make you this set. The reason I decided to go with petrified wood set is because it's really balanced in terms of protection, weight and small speed penalties, which will be further reduced with mercenary passive skill armor training. Bear in mind that your speed will also depend on how much stuff you got in your backpack. You can of course choose to go with a heavier set because you don't need to worry about mana reduction, but you'll move much slower. The petrified set also provides you nice fire resistance, which will certainly be helpful. The protection and resistances are lower than some stronger heavy armor set, but combined with high HP, it's more than enough to give you quite a bit of room for mistake in combat. Of course, you'll sometimes need to wear different armor depending on the weather. And now some tips for armor progression. This will of course vary because of the RNG loot, so in the beginning you can choose to go with whatever you can find in loot containers. Just make sure that your gear doesn't slow you down too much. You could gather the mats in early game to craft the Amulite armor, because it fits this build quite nicely and it's not so hard to get. You can then choose to stick with it until you get to Berg and start collecting petrified wood for your main set. Good alternative is Elite Plate set, and with some luck you could find at least a couple of pieces in Nordmar forest without spending your precious silver. Even though my playstyle with this build is based around dodging, you can get away with blocking as well, since you'll have enough impact resistance to block more than a few hits. Your goal for the main weapon should be World Edge Great Axe, which is also acquirable in Nordmar forest. While it should be your weapon of choice for the 90% of the time, bear in mind there are creatures that are immune to decay damage, so it's smart to have at least one more weapon in your inventory. If you're starting from the scratch, your first upgrade should be the Fang Great Axe. To honors or Great Axe could be a decent choice even after you get the World Edge Great Axe. Same goes for the bows. Horror bow can be a long way off, so you should try and at least upgrade your simple bow with recurve, coral horn or war bow. If RNG gods hate you, try to get 1k silver and buy the war bow from the blacksmith in Berg. And that will cover all the things that you need for this build to work. You can of course tweak it however you like, but I hope you could see from some tougher fights that this exact setup is more than viable. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe for more content. This channel is based around RPGs in general, so if you're into those kind of games, you'll find something for you. Before I leave you, I have to give special thanks to my Patreons. And if you as well want to support this channel in a long run, consider checking out the Patreon page. All the links are in the description. See ya in the next one.